Good evening. Greg here, burner both ends. Burner on the back end of a value proposition. It's been a long day. I-Core day 2 in the books. Great day. We got to go out of the building and do some customer discovery interviews, which was awesome. We had one that was fantastic, one that was a little awkward. But the key thing is that from each interview, we got some decent data. Actually, from the first one, we got fantastic data. The second one, we got interesting data, but not relevant to our technology or our business model. But from each one, we did get 2 referrals for 2 more interviews each. So we got 4 more out of these 2. So that's the way to roll. And on the second one, we got to practice cutting short, which was kind of cool because, we don't want to waste anyone's time, right? We don't want to waste our time. We don't want to waste their time. So you get to that part where, you hear pop, or you're hearing crickets, and it seems like that's the end, then, it's a good time to wrap it up. And so, yeah, so it was really cool. So over here is we got wisdom from the opening session, day 2, part 1. So I'll do another post in the morning with some more wisdom nuggets. And so, yeah, so I-Core opening session. So this is the DOE Energy I-Core opening session. We're in Lakewood, Colorado. And day 2's in the books. Long day, plenty of wisdom for aspiring entrepreneurs, a good amount of humbling activities. Today's presentation was a lot better for me because I got to talk more about the business model as opposed to the technology, which I don't know much about. But that's beside the point. It's good just to put yourself out there, be uncomfortable, be up in front of people talking. And part of the style here is that they interrupt you intentionally to try to throw you off. And that's kind of cool because, if I'm ever pitching a VC, pitching an investor, that's how it be. That person or those people are just going to jump in whenever they feel like it because they want to understand. And, it's good practice not to get thrown off, off my game when I'm up there. So it was really cool. And we got some good feedback and just looking to, refine and tweak and learn. And so went through my notes, pulled out some good nuggets. So I'll have a couple tonight and then a couple in the morning, and then we'll roll in day 3 tomorrow. So, excuse me. So first of all, customer discovery, this whole concept, right? And what's interesting is I find that with learning these things, I have to, for me to learn, I have to hear it many different times, repeated, and most likely said in different ways. And then all of a sudden, one of those ways will just kind of hit and go, interesting. And so here's another definition, or not definition, but a phrase about customer discovery to help understand really what it is. So customer discovery is based on what we don't know, right? And so we do all this work around value propositions and customer segments and customer archetypes and ecosystem and all these things to kind of create some targets to go after customers to find out what we don't know. Right? We create these hypotheses to prove right or wrong. And we know essentially in the beginning, we're just really guessing. We're guessing based on maybe data from a technology or some very basic high-level market research, and then we get, and then we do all this work to create all these models so that so the purpose is we just know now who to go out and begin to talk to, and then as we begin to do these customer discovery interviews and we learn things, then we start to understand where else we need to go, and so the first and the biggest challenge of this process is identifying a specific customer segment and a value proposition or propositions that go to that customer segment or that satisfy that customer segment, or that can be sold to that customer segment, right? That's how a company exists, right? It's got a value proposition and a customer segment, and it sells the value proposition. It sells the value proposition to the customer segment in the form of a product or a service, creates revenue and profit, hopefully, and then there's your business. And so for details on customer segment, go back to the I-Core Wisdom opening session day 1. I've linked it in the outline. That has a good amount of detail on customer segments. Of course, you can just Google it or YouTube it, and you'll find a bunch of stuff. But this post is going to focus on the value proposition, which is a pretty, I don't know, not difficult thing to understand, but it's this kind of very specific that can be very confusing, or it can be confusing with product attributes, right? So product attributes or product features are like, like my webcam is HD 1080, 1080p. It's what else has got? It's got stereo microphones on it. It's got a USB cable. It's not such a big deal of a feature, but things like that. Those are features, right? And so the value proposition does have features in it, but also it's got the benefit to the customer, right? And so, the benefit to me of this camera is that it's, I get to do these great YouTube posts, and it's super easy to carry around with me. It's just super easy to hook up, right? Just plug it in and it works, right? I'm on my Chromebook right now. Don't even have to install it. Plug it in, and it works. So that's pretty cool. So here's a definition of value proposition, and this is one of many. There is not just one, but this is one of many. But I like this one. It was spoken to. So a value proposition describes the specific and quantitative benefit my customer will derive by adopting my product and or service. And the key thing is there is specific. It's a specific customer segment, and it's a quantitative benefit, right? It should have a number attached, or there should be something there that we can really sink our teeth into. And getting those numbers and that quantity is that's the purpose of the customer discovery interviews, is to go out and understand, is it 25% or 30%, or is 10% enough? Do I need to be 2x, 5x, 10x, 1.5x? Things like that. Am I like relieving a pain in my customer, like helping them get through like a regulatory process, or am I giving them a gain, like now they can go out and capture a different market segment that they couldn't capture before, or they can increase their margins, or things like that. So the value proposition takes this form, and this is one of many formats that you can find that just helps to write one out. And the value prop is going to be a bit of a long, ugly sentence, but it's going to have these key pieces to it that have been discovered through customer discovery, right? So here is one format that can help, right? So it comes in 4 bullets, but it takes the form of one kind of long sentence. So customer so-and-so, meaning the customer segment, will be able to essentially execute that customer's value proposition because of my product or service attributes, resulting in this benefit to the customer. And so I'll say that again. And I wish I had an example. I didn't prepare an example. I can't use the one for my technology because it's proprietary. But maybe part of this exercise is you can find a business that that you like, or the startup that you're working on, or your business, and do this exercise. And if you do this exercise and post it in the comments, I'll be happy to talk with you about it and give you feedback. And I can even run it through some of the iCore instructors, because that's kind of one of the cool things about this program, is that there are so many people here lined up to help, and we're all like helping each other. And that's just a great, powerful thing about it. It's not a, oh no, I'm not going to touch that, or no, that's not my field. Because the whole basic thing about business is that the fundamentals are the same. Whether I'm selling Coca-Cola, iPhones, ice, or bubbly water, the fundamentals are the same. There's still a value proposition. There are still customer segments. There's still business model camps that exist. So all the fundamentals are the same. And that's what I really enjoy about this program, is that I'm going to walk away with a great understanding on how to analyze any business. Now, maybe I need to have some, technical expertise in certain areas to understand if certain, quantities listed are achievable. Like, can you really get 25% improvement with that gadget? Maybe I need to talk to an expert in, HD cameras to understand, can you really package it that small, or can you really do this? Stuff like that. But anyway, so I'll list the value prop again, the format. So customer so-and-so, the customer segment, will be able to essentially execute their value proposition because of my product or service or service attributes, resulting in the main benefit that I'm providing the customer. And so, like I said, it's a long, clunky sentence. It takes time to work through, a lot of refining, a lot of whittling down. This is that kind of, it's going to start and look ugly and long and have extraneous things in it, and then you're going to whittle down, and it's going to be a guess on the front end. It's going to be a bit of an extrapolation from where you're at or from where I'm at. Maybe I have a prototype in the lab that we put together that has some results, and I'm going to extrapolate to some place where customer A might want to see an increase, right? I mean, it's easy to say, oh, well, I'll do a 2x increase on that, or I'll half the cost, or for the same cost I can get price to performance, right? And so those numbers start going in there, and then out of that falls a hypothesis, right? Actually, the whole value proposition is a hypothesis. Maybe broken into a couple different pieces, like for example, these 3 attributes that I'm listing are really important to the customer. And those 3 attributes give the customer that benefit. And maybe I can test the attributes, I can test the benefit. Is that really the big pain for this customer, or the biggest gain, or is it kind of like a so-so thing? I don't want to find so-so things. I want to find, like, I need to have that product, or I need to have that service, or else I'm going to go out of business, or else I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do this year, right? This should be like almost like a desperate need. So that's value proposition. Let me read the definition again, or one of the definitions here. So a value proposition describes the specific and quantitative benefit my customer will derive by adopting my product and or service. And so that's today's post. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's pretty specific, some good nuggets, I think. And this is the kind of stuff that it really takes time to absorb this, and it's almost like I can't sit in my room by myself and do this. I can start doing it in my room, but I need to go and find someone that knows about it, so that way we can have a volley back and forth. And it's a lot like writing a resume. It's like, if I do it on my own, that's a bit dangerous, because I'm not going to see things that are wrong with it. And don't forget, and then I'm going to go out and talk to customers about whether or not these thresholds will produce value, and whether or not these thresholds are profitable and sellable. Will someone buy it at these benchmarks? Will someone buy it at 25%? Things like that. Very critical. And something else that I'll probably post this maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, but it's this like workflow. It's like, so I'm selling my product to my customer. My customer has maybe an end user. Maybe that customer even has an end user, right? There's this whole workflow to be worked out, and doing interviews through the whole workflow is critical, because that way, I need to make sure that my customer's customer is going to pay for the thing that I'm providing my customer. It's getting a little confusing, and I should probably draw out this diagram, which I will. But anyway, so these are just critical things. You'll see more in more posts. I definitely recommend reading more about this stuff. It's just like looking at value prop on its own is kind of challenging. The whole business model canvas is critical, so definitely look into that. So anyway, so that's the post for tonight. Hope you enjoy it. Once again, these are things that this whole channel is about, things that I'm doing in my life. I'm an aspiring entrepreneur. Things that I'm doing to elevate my game, to sharpen my entrepreneurial sword. And these are things that are proven, things that are definitely, they work. And I can see them working for me. I can see myself kind of really refining my understanding of these things, some of the nuances, some of the subtleties. And so the whole point of this channel is for me to, I'm in a very lucky place where I can absorb this wisdom. I want to put it back out in the world, and I want to be of service. So please comment below. Tell me about your journey. Tell me about your challenges. I'd love to help however I could. In the description below, I've linked, there's the outline I've linked. I've also linked some motivational videos that are really this year, really got me going in this direction to elevate my game. I've got some great music down there, some psychedelic ambient, some DJ sets. I think I have DJ Sabo down there from on SoundCloud. And then I also have, so there are no beats in the background. I don't have my software to do that. But check out my SoundCloud link. So G Money is my alter ego. This is I've been drumming for a few decades, so I write these drum songs. So check them out. There's a bunch on SoundCloud. Really cool beats. At least I think they are. And that's it. So get some good sleep tomorrow. Go out and crush it. Inspire people. Do and I'll see you in the morning.